皆さんこんばんは。アメリカからエリです。I'm asking the YouTube AI translation to kick in now. You asked. I think that that's happening definitely in America also. You and I have that in common. Do they have this saying in Japan that they do in America that the best things in life are free? That's true. Love is free, right? And kindness is free. Doesn't cost money. Those kinds of things that make life better. So my question to you would be, what do you consider normal? Because I'm not sure that there is any such thing anymore, honestly. What is a normal life? A calm, peaceful life? And I'm also curious, what's abnormal about your life? Is it really things that you are feeling? You feel like things aren't normal, or because things feel too chaotic maybe, or I don't know. Your next line here is, the current world situation is chaotic. I agree. And I guess I'll disclose to everybody now, because much of how I see the world is through, and I guess this applies to everyone, your belief system. If you have any spiritual beliefs, or political beliefs, or whatever. In America we refer to it as a filter, so like glasses or a lens that affect the way that you see things or perceive things in the world. It's so I can't not see things through this way, because as a Christian, the scriptures, the Bible, tell us about, the world is going to end and that these are called the last days. So as the world progresses, or doesn't progress as the case might be, or self-destructs, or I don't know what to call it exactly, but as we continue down the road of time, Christian scripture foretells that things will become very bad, and I think that we're seeing that. So for me, although it doesn't feel good for any of us, regardless of your beliefs, I think at least I have some explanation, understanding, some comprehension about maybe what's going on, although I kind of joke with my Christian friends, and that, we knew that things would get ugly, but to actually live in this time and to see how it's all playing out is a whole nother thing, because nobody could possibly have predicted or guessed what it would be like. So to actually experience it, and to experience that it's quite a circus, to say the least. But it helps me, it gives me some understanding of what's going on, and although I don't like it, I also know that it can't be stopped entirely. I think the best we can do, which is tremendously helpful actually, is to find other people that do feel like that, and can maybe give you a sense of assurance. If we come together, I think there's strength in numbers and unity, and people where you feel like people are sane, because there are some sane people still in the world, thank God. Find those people. They'll help you. I hope I'm one of them for you. What will happen to war, energy problems, food problems, etc. So again, here with I have to point to my Christian belief system. In the particular church that I belong to, we believe in preparedness, so emergency preparedness, meaning grow food, and if you can, store food, and also to get things just prepared for an emergency, whatever that might be. It could be anything. It could be flooding, it could be a fire, it could be tornadoes, or depending on where you live in Japan, right? Earthquake, tsunami. Also to get your important paperwork together and maybe even make duplicates of these things, your insurance paperwork, your passport, your driver's license, your identification cards, birth certificates, marriage certificates, those kinds of things, home title deeds, if you have those in Japan, your banking information, all of these things that you would need in the event of an emergency to get these organized and know where they are, and also to have them in a place where you can grab them and go with them if you need to. I'll just start with a little bit at a time, but like, I'm sharing this with all of you because I care about you too, and I want Japan to be, you know, at least a little mindful about these things. I know you don't have room to store things like we do here often, and it's hard for us, even with our bigger homes and things, to store things like that. But just putting that out there because I think it's good information to keep in mind. And if you can grow some food, Japan's awesome about that. So maybe you can do a little bit of that or something. That would be great. China. Yeah. I'm worried for Japan about China, but America and Japan are in alliance with each other, right? And I hope that gives you guys some comfort. I know it gives me comfort. Not that we can't be overpowered by China, for sure, and I would be nervous too, being that you're so geographically close to China, that's already proved to be a problem in the past. I hope that answers that. I don't like it either. There are many things that make me feel uneasy, yes, but at the moment, apart from various natural disasters, I don't think there is a better place to live than Japan. Yes. As a Japanese person, I'm happy that somebody feels like that. Honestly, I think Americans largely feel maybe a false sense of security, meaning most people think we're safer than we are, and I don't know. As individuals, what can we do about what's going on in the world? I think we only have so much control in the matter, so what matters, I think, is that we need to make things as good as we can with the power that we do have, which is within our own, they call it in American, I don't know if you have these terms in Japan, but so there's a sphere of influence, and then there's a bigger circle of, you can't control things beyond a certain point in your life. So, and ultimately, the one thing you can control most is yourself. Any small thing you can do to make the world a better place, I think that makes a tremendous difference. I think we don't know how that affects things. They talk about the ripple effect when you throw a rock in the water, and it's just one small rock, but from that, right? And there's probably something Japanese that refers to that. I imagine there is. I often see it on the internet news, I assume, but various things are happening. Yes. Personally, I haven't been watching the news for a very long time now because I don't trust it. And if you've heard, President Trump used to say, the fake news. I kind of agree with that. I personally like Mr. Trump. I feel like he could bring America back to America as it used to be. What do you think, Eddie-san? Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump is a character, and I did not care for him, or I do not care for him as a personality. I don't like his personality. Was he a good president? I'll compare him to Joe Biden and say I think he was better than Joe Biden. I don't follow politics all that closely, so maybe I'm not the best person to ask about this, but just based on my opinion as an American citizen who only pays so much attention to these things, how do I feel like my life is personally affected by what either of them do? Not a lot. So, and hopefully you don't feel that in Japan either, like whoever your leaders are. Does it affect your everyday life? It's never super drastic, is it? Like, hopefully not. I don't have very strong feelings about politics, honestly, because I don't believe that the people that hold those offices are actually in power. I think that they're more of a puppet. How much power do we have against this? We have enough power collectively. There are way more of us than there are of them. Pointing back to my Christian beliefs. Ultimately, good prevails over evil. That's my belief. In the meantime, it's supposed to get incredibly ugly. So, I hope that the few of us that still are able to think clearly enough and care about good versus evil and want the world to be better, that we can rise above the things that, okay, this is a good one actually, very important. I pretty regularly say to people, my friends, that, and you are my friends now, so I am really grateful to be the age that I am, because I feel like I was blessed to be born in a time that was analog, between the ages of 20 and 25, somewhere in there, something like that. Yeah, everything that I'd learned that way, I now had to learn the new technological way, and that has just continued to evolve at a rapid pace since, right? So I feel fortunate to have been able to experience that analog world, because it was so different, and the values and the world was entirely different than what we know it to be now. And anybody born since then, that time, they don't have that. They don't know what it's like to have both feet on the ground and feel some clarity in your brain, and I think it's just gotten crazy. So I'm grateful to have that to kind of be my foundation and to feel grounded. I don't know if it's if America can go back to what it used to be. I don't think it's meant to, honestly. I don't think it's possible. There are good things about the progress that we've made over the years. It's technology. I'm talking to you right now because of that, so I'm grateful for that. And it's a wonderful thing in a lot of ways. It's also can be used for evil things, of course. But as far as between that and also, there are so many immigrants here in the United States, and I don't think necessarily that that's a bad thing, but I do think that, America was built on that, right? Immigrants. The values are not ever going to be what they used to be before we had this population explosion here. I think that the values that we had when this country was founded and up until maybe somewhere in the 1950s, those were very white, Caucasian, Christian values that were held by the majority of people in this country at that time, up until that time, starting from the days of the Pilgrims, right? So, yeah, we're not going to see that again. And although I have my roots in that time era, those values, I still believe in those things because they make the most sense to me. I like them. I believe in them as a Christian, of course. So, all things to think about, but I don't think that I liked Mr. Trump's slogan was "Make America Great Again," right? Which was very appealing to a lot of people, but the younger generations, I think that they resented him saying something like that. They have no appreciation or respect for their predecessors and the things that this country was built on and that it was ever great. They don't see it. They don't. And I don't know why that is, except, again, I'm pointing back to the Christian understanding of there being, the world going downward throughout the remainder of history. So it's going to have to come to that, I guess. But in the meantime, I want to try to make it as pleasant as possible for those of us that still care about these things. And if you're here watching this right now, then I count you amongst those that do care. And I hope that you'll share your thoughts with me about my crazy ideas and my not so crazy ideas. Hopefully I have some of those too. But I really appreciate you being here. I hope that this was worth your while to watch, and I hope you have a wonderful day. ありがとうね。じゃあね。